How does it feel?
Actually, it's nice.
Whether you have just arrived in China or are considered an old-timer, chances are you will still run into certain foods that make you do a double take. They have got a reputation for eating just about anything. If it flies, walks, or crawls, it's fair game. You will even find street stalls selling fried centipedes and bats as snacks. Think you are brave enough to try? Here are the top 20 weirdest foods in China that will leave you wondering, how on earth do they eat that? Number 20. Deep-fried spiders. No one in his right mind could think of putting this hairy and ugly-looking creature into his mouth except the Chinese. Much like savoring a crab, Chinese enjoy coated deep-fried spiders seasoned with garlic and salt. This crunchy and intriguing street food is a common sight in China. Just like other insects like grasshoppers, cicadas, and crickets, they are easily accessible street food and protein-rich snacks in China. The body and head of this spider have tender, delicate meat inside. The legs are crispy and can be eaten whole. Adventurous insect eaters starts by nibbling on the legs before moving to the abdomen. The body is mild with a subtle sweetness. Some say it tastes like chicken. Just imagine the shock of having this served on your plate on a hot summer afternoon. If you're traveling through regions like Guangxi or Guangdong in southern China, you might be in for a surprise. Spiders are a common sight for sale at street stalls. Although the legs have little flesh, the abdomens compensate eaters with a rich flavor for those willing to savor every part. However, it is worthy of note that spiders, like other insects, provide nutritional benefit. They are high in vitamins, proteins, and minerals. They have long been part of the Chinese diet. Even today, this unusual source of protein remains a staple in Chinese street food, providing a daring culinary experience for the brave at heart. But if you think that's too strange, how would you feel about eating? Number 19. Jellyfish salad. In the shimmering waters of the ocean, jellyfish float like a translucent ghost, ethereal, beautiful, and delicate tentacles. But in China, they are centuries-old delicacies, with a texture unlike anything else, somewhere between crunchy and chewy. It is cut into long strands seasoned with soy sauce, vinegar, and sesame oil, and usually served with vegetables as a salad, creating a unique taste and an addictive mouthfeel, earning it international fame as a beloved appetizer. Despite being 95% water, they are low in calories and rich in collagen, a protein believed to relieve joint pains and improve skin health by reducing wrinkles and dryness. Some say jellyfish salad can give you a radiant complexion, and as an added bonus, these sea creatures often appear in large swarms, making them a sustainable seafood choice that helps control their population. The United Nations recommended their consumption because they overpopulate the ocean. Jellyfish are gelatinous in water, but surprisingly, they are crunchy when eaten. These marine creatures retain their crispiness even after being cooked, showcasing the Chinese mastery of transforming unlikely ingredients into celebrated delicacies. It's truly remarkable how something once deemed inedible can become a prized dish. And if you think jellyfish salad is strange food, just wait, because the real weirdness begins with number 18, scorpion. Remember the stories you heard about scorpions? Their stings and their scary appearance can send shivers down your spine. But what if I tell you that they have been a part of Chinese cuisine for thousands of years? History suggests that the Chinese likely turned to scorpions as a food source out of necessity, relying on them for protein during times of food scarcity. Over time, they became a lasting part of the culinary tradition. Today, scorpions have become a popular snack, typically served either fried or skewered and grilled. This preparation method gives them a crunchy shell while keeping the inside tender. In some instances, they are even served alive. They are sometimes preserved in traditional liquors or mixed with herbs. The stingers of these scorpions are not removed because they lose poison after they have been exposed to heat. They are also used for medicinal purposes in Chinese medicine, dating back to the Han Dynasty. They were recommended for treating conditions like numbness, tumors, and skin inflammation. These medicinal uses are linked to their belief that they possess anti-inflammatory and anti-cancer properties. Scorpions are so frequently enjoyed and cherished by locals in China that they can be found on the menus of many restaurants throughout the country. For many in China, it's a source of pride as it evokes how an unwelcoming creature can be transformed into delightful traditional food. Weird as it may seem, it is a loved food in China. But if you find this too weird to try, what would you think of? Number 17. Sea Urchin Row with steamed egg. Imagine being served your eggs steamed in a creature that looks like it just stepped out of a sci-fi movie, the sea urchin. Watching them in their habitat may be fun, but having them on your plate as a dish could be a nasty experience, especially if this is your first time visiting China. It is usually eaten in many different styles and recipes. The urchin shell is sliced in half and used as a bowl in which eggs are mixed with the body of the urchin, giving it the unique taste of a scrambled egg and smoked salmon. This dish marries the ocean saltiness with the comforting creaminess of eggs, making it a highly sought-after delicacy in China, as well as in Japan and Korea. Fresh roe is scooped from the shell of a sea urchin and paired with rich steamed egg custard in the empty urchin shell. The addition of chopped scallion provides a fresh aromatic contrast to the dish's richness. It is believed to provide health benefits, such as boosting metabolism and enhancing vitality, although sea urchin roe with steamed egg is undeniably weird. Number 16. Giant centipede as a delicacy. How will you feel when served a long, leggy creature on the menu at a friend's house while vacationing in China? Gross? In China, insects are more than just pests. They are a valued source of protein and the key to an exciting culinary experience. Prepared either by frying on skewers or dried for medical use, they are popular novelty foods on the streets of China. In China, you can hardly walk down a street without spotting fried centipedes on display at street vendors. They are usually skewered, seasoned, and deep-fried, resulting in a crispy and crunchy snack. Beyond being a unique food, centipedes, like scorpions, have been used in traditional medicine for centuries. They are believed to possess healing features and are used to treat a variety of convulsions. However, consuming centipedes regularly can pose health risks due to their toxins. The fact that this is considered a delicacy takes weirdness to a whole new level, much like number 15. Snake soup. For most people, indulging in a hot bowl of snake soup might feel like a disgusting and scary experience, most especially when they remember that they often associate snakes with danger and fear. However, you might be surprised to learn that this soup has been consumed for centuries as an elixir for a healthy life. Known as yang, it originated in Guangdong Province, China. This delicacy was once a symbol of luxury, enjoyed on special occasions by the wealthy. By the 1700s, this soup became popular across China for its potent medicinal properties. Typically prepared from 5 different types of snake, this dish combines snake bones and meat with various ingredients such as mushrooms, chicken, ginseng, chopped ginger, and traditional Chinese herbs. The taste of snake meat is often described as a cross between fish and chicken. When cooked properly, even the bones can be eaten. What's more, as per ancient Chinese medicine, it is said to prevent and cure ailments like arthritis, cardiovascular diseases, osteoporosis, inflammation, tuberculosis, and skin diseases. This is because snake meat is rich in essential nutrients such as calcium, magnesium, and protein, which, when cooked with aromatic spices, can help in overall healing and immunity boosting. Still, eating snake can feel weird and unsettling to many. Would you rather try something even more unconventional, like number 14, fried cicada? How would you feel walking through the park and seeing someone munching on insect-like snacks? Disgusted? Intrigued? For many outside of China, the idea of eating insects can be hard to swallow. Yet, in Chinese culture, insect eating is as common as enjoying a bag of popcorn. Among the various critters consumed, the cicada reigns supreme. They are very popular in several Chinese regions, including Zhejiang in the east, Hebei, Central Henan, and Shandong. Fried cicadas are prepared by skewering them, coating them in cornstarch and spices, and deep frying until they are golden and crunchy. They taste like mushy asparagus and shrimp. With about 13 grams of protein per 100-gram serving, cicada provides a high-protein content superior to that of beef. They are also believed to have medicinal properties, and some say they are very effective in treating coughs.
You ready? Wow.
However, experts caution people with allergies to steer clear. The heads, legs, and wings should be removed before frying to eliminate microbes and bacteria. People hunting cicadas carry lamps and carry bamboo poles more than 2 meters long to knock them down from trees and use sticky adhesive to catch flying adult cicadas. In China, cicadas are valued not just because of their taste, but also because of their symbolic meaning, representing renewal and joy through their summer buzz. For first-time visitors, the sight of insects being eaten or displayed at street stalls can be unimaginable, with the culture shock often more intense than seeing. Number 13. Pigeon on a stick. Pigeons fly freely in most parts of the world, and few would consider eating them. But in China, they're a cherished delicacy. Strange as it may seem, eating pigeon is particularly popular in the northern regions. A Chinese proverb states that 1 pigeon is worth 9 chickens, underscoring its significance. A stroll through the streets of northern China may reveal whole pigeons being roasted over an open flame. These small grilled or fried birds are a common sight in markets and stalls. Offering a mouth-watering treat on the go, perfect for enjoying with a cold, chilled beer. The tradition of cooking pigeon dates back to Han's dynasty. Vendors prepare them by skewering, seasoning with aromatic spices, and grilling over charcoal, resulting in crispy skin and tender meat. It has many flavors, such as spicy and barbecue. The serving size of this recipe is 1 per person because of the small size of these birds. Some street vendors also sell crab, quails, and squid on sticks, but pigeons are preferred because they are succulent, savory, and tender. It is considered a priced food in China and considered as part of family celebrations and banquets. Common preparations for pigeons at family gatherings or restaurants include roasting them, much like duck or goose, or using them in soups or hot pots. Pigeons can also be incorporated to dishes like congee porridge or pigeon pie. Historically, pigeons have held cultural significance in China, symbolizing peace and loyalty. In Chinese tradition, they are often served at weddings to bring good fortune. So, the next time you see a pigeon, remember that in China, it's not just a bird, but a symbol of tradition, flavor, and celebration. Stay tuned, because our next selection might just give you goosebumps as we explore the intriguing weirdness of Number 12. Pig brain. Having something that looks like a brain on your menu can be one of the weirdest experiences you will ever encounter while in China. So bizarre, you might not forget it for a long time. It is common Chinese folklore that eating the brain of an animal will make the consumer smarter. Perhaps this could be the reason for the high consumption of this food in China. Boiled pig brains have been used in traditional Chinese cuisine for centuries. It has the consistency of soft tofu, and most often served in Chinese hot pots, vats of boiling, flavored water or oil with various meats and vegetables. The Chinese crave for this recipe because of its rich, buttery taste and wonderful texture. When prepared with care, pig brain has a soft, melt-in-your-mouth texture and a creamy flavor reminiscent of tofu. It absorbs the flavors of the hot broth, enhancing its savory taste. It supposedly contains more iron and calcium than any other part of the pig. However, it is extremely high in cholesterol. They are best dipped in satay sauce, as it tends to hide the vague, rancid meat flavor of the actual brain. While not recommended for men, pig brain is used in traditional Chinese medicine for headaches and insomnia. With its buttery texture and rich flavors, it's not just a dish, it's an experience waiting to be savored. Are you brave enough to take the plunge? Dive into the world of bold flavors and see where your taste buds lead you next. It might even take you to the intriguing realm of eating. Number 11. Cat meat. For many, the idea of cooking a cat as a meal is unimaginable and repugnant, yet in some parts of China, it's considered a beloved delicacy, cherished for its unique flavor and cultural significance. Estimates suggest that around 4 million cats are eaten annually across the country. Although it's viewed as a taboo, it doesn't deter street vendors from partaking in this animal scandal. Sales of cat meat are particularly common during the colder months, as it is believed to provide warming yang energy. Areas such as the Guangdong and the Guangxi provinces have a large demographic of older people who still believe that cat meat provides a good source of nutrition during the winter month. The province alone is assumed to consume over 10,000 cats a day. In fact, an investigation conducted in 2017 found out that stray cats and pet cats are usually rounded up and deceitfully sold to restaurants as rabbit meat. Dishes like stews and hot pots allow the flavor of cat meat to permeate the broths and vegetables. However, since eating cats goes against Buddhist teachings, some butchers rather sell cat meat under the guise of goat or rabbit meat. As cats have become beloved pets in modern China, their consumption has become increasingly controversial. Today, this practice is primarily associated with poverty and traditional Chinese customs. Although the popularity of cat meat has declined due to cultural changes, it still holds nostalgic value for some. If this was hard to watch, you might not be able to eat your next meal after watching. Number 10. Giant clams. The giant clam is a food that, once seen, is hard to forget, as it resembles a certain part of the male anatomy. They are the largest type of burrowing clam in the entire world. Some specimens weigh over 200 pounds and cost an average of $300. The Pacific geoduck, prized for its gigantic siphon, meaty texture, and briny flavor, is a large saltwater clam known for its deliciously sweet taste and crunchy texture.
Whoa, you hear that? This is a good drinking food, can I tell you that?
When they are fresh out of the sea, they are usually full of water, which means if they are not prepared properly, they can turn into an unexpected bath surprise. When stewed or stir-fried, the meat becomes succulently tender, offering a delicately sweet oceanic flavor. Giant clams were once abundant across Asia-Pacific reef habitats, before overharvesting diminished their population. The giant clam invites you to ponder the motivations behind Chinese cuisine, showcasing daring choices and diverse flavors. It's a thrilling culinary journey that could lead you to some unexpected and even shocking ingredients. Number 9. The gutter oil. Take a look at the gutter in your street, overflowing with garbage and dirt from nearby houses and industries. Now imagine that oil is being scooped from these filthy depths and used to prepare a meal for you. Strange? Chinese foods are heavily dependent on cooking oil, leading some street vendors and cheap restaurants to buy cheap black market oil that has been recycled from waste. Enterprising men and women sift through trash bins, dumpsters, gutters, and sewers, scooping out liquid or solid refuse that contains used oil and sometimes rotten animal parts. They then process this into cooking oil, which they sell at cheap rates to schools, street stalls, and small restaurants, which use it to cook food that can make you extremely sick. Tests often reveal traces of carcinogens and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, which can increase the risk of cancer in both humans and animals. Estimates from 2010 suggest that 10% of Chinese cooking oil was gutter oil. In April 2013, Chinese authorities uncovered a gutter oil production ring that spanned 13 cities and involved over 100 people who somehow acquired rotten animal parts and boiled down the fat into oil. Chinese authorities estimated the black market producers had already sold a stunning 1.6 million worth of their product. In China, gutter oil remains an unappetizing example of food supply contamination, even amid modernization. However, the unsettling nature of gutter oil is just as disturbing as the notorious reputation of.
Our job is to fight against those who collect the used oil to recycle as cooking oil for food.
Number 8. Stinky Tofu. In the busy streets of many Chinese cities, one smell often stands out, a distinct odor reminiscent of rotting garbage or damp, musty socks. This unique street food captures the bold, unapologetic flavors of Chinese cuisine. The smell may be annoying and disgusting, but the taste is exactly opposite. Stinky tofu is made in different ways, with the precise fermentation process varying from one street vendor to the next. Traditionally, it's made from vegetables, fermented milk, and meat, but might also include ingredients such as mustard greens, dried shrimp, bamboo shoots, amaranth greens, and Chinese herbs. The brine is left to ferment for several months, creating a highly potent mix. Once the tofu has been sufficiently soaked in the fermented brine, street vendors can serve it in a variety of ways, including deep-fried, barbecued, stewed, steamed, or braised. When cooked, stinky tofu has a custard-like interior surrounded by a crispy fired shell. The flavor is mild and savory, often served with sweet chili sauce. It provides a unique taste. However, because of the repugnant odors emitted by the tofu, it is rarely served in eateries and restaurants. As absurd as it may seem, its smell is more shocking than the taste, making it a culinary adventure that can leave you wondering if it's more outrageous than
these bricks of tofu in a brine that is made of old milk, vegetables, and meat.
Number 7. Seahorse Shish Kebab. Like a scene straight out of a horror movie, some night markets in China showcase some of the most bizarre street foods you will ever encounter. One striking example is the seahorse, skewered on a stick for display. Believe it or not, China is the largest consumer of seahorse in the world, with an annual demand of 500 metric tons, approximately 95% of global consumption. When dried, they become crunchy, crispy snacks. Some adventurous eaters say it tastes like potato chips. For over 600 years, seahorse has been used in traditional Chinese medicine, especially for disorders like erectile dysfunction, and is potent for addressing infertility and asthma. Records of seahorse as part of Chinese medicine date as far back as the 1500 Ming dynasty. As coastal habitat degrades, the seahorse has become highly endangered. These gentle creations remind us of the ancient Chinese custom and the urgent need to protect vanishing marine life. So, while you ponder on the mysteries of seahorses as delicacies, check out our next featured food. Number 6. Bat soup. The thought of touching a bat, let alone seeing it on a dinner plate, is enough to make most of us cringe. Yet in China, bats, along with a wide variety of other creatures, are considered delicacies. Given this, it's no surprise that the country was blamed as the source of the COVID-19 outbreak. Although eating bats in China is culturally unacceptable, in southern regions, such as Guangdong and Guangxi provinces, bat meat was sold in markets and even advertised in some restaurants. Aside from their novelty as food, bats have an ancient history of use in traditional Chinese medicine, where they were believed to treat ailments like malaria and skin diseases. Bat soup, for instance, is considered a warming tonic that promotes well-being. Bats roost in large colonies in caves, making them easier to catch. However, the dangers of consuming bat meat cannot be overstated, as bats can host a number of viruses, including coronaviruses and severe acute respiratory syndrome, which can be transmitted to humans. Scientific research suggests the coronavirus outbreak that happened in 2019 was likely to have come from bats. Regardless of how sumptuous some may find the taste, is it really worth the risk? Now it's time for today's subscriber pick. Before we continue, we want to share a very weird food item: dog meat. While dogs are often regarded as man's best friend, in some areas of China, dog meat is considered a delicacy, especially during the winter months when it's believed to provide warmth. Regions known for consuming dog meat include Guangxi and several northern provinces. In certain areas, such as Northeast and South China, dog meat can be found in markets, and some restaurants feature it on their menus. Would you consider trying dog meat if you came across it at a stall in China? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. Now, let's dive back into the video. Number 5. Birds' nest soup. Trying new food is something to look forward to, especially when on a long vacation to somewhere like China. But having a bird nest on your menu is something gross and ridiculous. Bird's nest soup, also known as bird saliva soup, is one of the most popular and controversial delicacies in Chinese cuisine. Many dishes with unique names often get their titles based on appearance. like bird's nest cookies made with chow mein noodles and melted chocolate. However, bird's nest soup is different. It's made from an actual bird's nest. This soup has been a part of Chinese cuisine for generations. Chinese people began consuming bird's nest soup during the Ming Dynasty, and according to some tales, it is believed Zhen He, who was a Chinese explorer, diplomat, and fleet admiral, was the first person in Chinese history to eat bird's nest soup. Many Chinese folklore are willing to spend fortunes on this soup, as they believe eating it will help them have a long, healthy life. The bird's nests used for this soup are not simply found in trees, abandoned by their owners. These edible bird's nests belong to the swiftlet, a small bird mostly found in Southeast Asia. They live in dark caves and, similar to bats, use echolocation to move around. Instead of straw, the swiftlet makes its nest from strands of its own gummy saliva, which is produced by the glands under the tongue. Bird's nest soup is a true testament to Chinese culinary genius, turning a simple, even bizarre natural ingredient into a delicious masterpiece. But as strange as bird's nest may be as a food, would you prefer it as a dish over?
I don't know why, but before I think the bird's nest only came from China.
Number 4. Duck tongue. If you are not Chinese and were unexpectedly offered a duck's tongue for dinner, the first question that comes to your mind is not just how it should be eaten, but why. A duck's tongue is a tiny, fiddly thing, devoid of meat, barely more than a few prongs of bone and cartilage encased in rubbery skin. In China, duck's tongues are a great delicacy, along with goose webs and a host of other marginal animal parts. Westerners believe that Chinese ate lots of weird stuff, perhaps out of poverty and desperation. If you have never had it before, prepare yourself. This unusual dish might just surprise your taste buds. Duck tongue is definitely weird, but just wait until you hear about.
I got 3 duck tongues for 50 Taiwanese dollars.
Number 3. Shark fin soup. Imagine sitting down at a grand banquet, and the dish in front of you isn't just any soup. It's filled with the fins of one of the ocean's most feared predators. For centuries, shark fin soup has been a symbol of wealth and luxury in China, enjoyed during festive occasions like banquets and weddings, primarily by the wealthy. Beyond its luxury status, traditional beliefs suggest that shark fin soup possesses restorative properties that can combat aging and disease. Shark fins are readily available in pharmacies and fishing villages, often sold in various forms, small ones in plastic bags, multi-packs, or large single fins wrapped in festive red bows. The cartilage in shark fins is typically shredded to provide texture and thickness to the soup. This dish is considered a luxury item, embodying ideals of hospitality, status, and good fortune, making it a must-try for every visitor. While this may be weird and tempting, it's probably not as appealing to try as... Number 2. Sea cucumber. The thought of seeing a sea cucumber on your menu might make you question your sanity, but this bizarre delicacy boasts a surprisingly unique flavor and texture that many find appealing. Although not the most attractive sea creature, sea cucumbers are highly prized in China for their unique texture and impressive health benefits. Considered a unique treasure, they have become a beloved delicacy in Chinese cuisine. With such a rich and diverse food culture, the Chinese have mastered countless elaborate ways to cook these unusual ocean treasures. The dishes made from sea cucumbers are usually rich and colorful, and may include some aspect of the traditional heritage of the sea cucumber. Examples including cold dishes, sea cucumber porridge, home-style fine dishes, and soup. In addition to their distinct texture and culinary value, sea cucumbers are believed to have medicinal properties and are claimed to treat joint pain, boost immunity, and strengthen kidney function. And while this cuisine reminds us of why China is considered the epicenter of unusual delicacies, they continue to uphold their culinary traditions, just like... Number 1. Century eggs. To a foreigner, a century egg might seem like it belongs in a museum rather than on a plate. This Chinese culinary delicacy is made by preserving chicken, duck, or quail eggs in a mixture of clay, salt, quicklime, ash, and rice hulls for several weeks or months, depending on the processing method. Those unused to these preserved eggs tend to perceive their odd coloring and odor with horrified fascination and can be hesitant to try them. Many consider them a delicacy, appreciating the rich earthy taste and the contrast between the silky yolk and the gelatinous white. They are versatile and can be enjoyed plain, mixed into conch or rice, or chopped into various dishes. While century eggs may look strange, they encapsulate a piece of traditional Chinese history in every bite. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.